right. Testing. Testing sound. Please let me know if this is working. I can't hear for whatever reason. Sound is not coming out of my headphones, but that's okay. I don't need to hear anything to do the show, but hopefully you guys can hear me. And it seems like it's picking up my voice. Okay, so I'm working for you guys. For whatever reason, I cannot hear anything on my own computer. No big deal, because that doesn't affect the show at all. But it's a bit annoying that every time I sit down to do a stream, something else is not working. Even though I literally do nothing to the computer in between streams. It's an annoying Windows problem. Anyway, welcome everybody to CanHammer TV, your source for 40K from the Great White North. Tonight we have another episode of CanHammer TV and Custodes Tactica episode 12. Welcome on stream, Thurgood, Skage, Skywolf, and Brynjar4444. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining. We're just going to go over a quick hobby update. We're going to talk about CCBB for a little bit, and then we're going to go straight onto the Tactica. So, if everybody would like to let me know what they're working on in their hobby right now, that would be cool. As people know, my hobby goal this year is to get good at using the airbrush, and that has really morphed into also trying to use other mediums as well. And since I discovered Marco Frazzoni on YouTube, check him out, I've been experimenting with things like the airbrush. I have been experimenting with oil paints, using diluted oil washes, and then Q-tipping off the excess, which is pretty cool. And then also using little dots of oil paint and blending it with a soft brush to create highlights. These are two techniques I've learned off of Marco's YouTube, which is amazing. I get such high contrast looks with his models. You should check it out. I'm going to try it on my Eldar army. My Eldar is my big hobby experiment for this year. So I haven't actually done much on them recently because I'm waiting for so many things to arrive. I'm waiting for like a white oil. I'm waiting for white spirits. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for a whole bunch of things to come. I've been buying so much stuff, going to every single art store and rediscovered Dessert. So yeah. It's been amazing. I haven't actually done hardly any hobby because I've been just collecting all this stuff together. But my bikes are just waiting for their first oil wash once I get some white. It's going to be great. And then they're almost done, I think. And then I got to start working on the riders, of course. And yeah, so what else have I been working on? So I made 4 more Alars. So I need 4 more Alars. Alars comes in boxes of 3. So it's very annoying. I don't want to buy 2 boxes of Alars just for 4 guys. So instead what I've done is I have just bought 1 box. I made 3. And then I converted a dude who's basically like a warden with the captain's Alars axe, the kind of captain's shoulder pads, and then just a random hand from like a guardian. And then he's got an Alars head, and it kind of looks not as beefy as the Terminators, but better than buying a whole box for nothing. So I got 4 more Alars Terminators to paint for my sins. And then, of course, we have this. Welcome, Philo Pectal. Thank you for joining us for your first time. ITC Sharonan, welcome. So then, of course, we have this. So it is still unopened in the box. No reason to open it right now. Can't use it anyway. I might open it. I don't know. Since I'm painting the Alars, it might be easy just to open it up. But I'm, here's the box if you haven't picked it up. Of course, thank God they have, in fact, confirmed that we will be probably getting a Talon's keyword. What that means, we don't know yet, but we'll be able to use this if you really want to. Keeping in mind the fact that these two are kind of sucky. But anyway, so we got these new models here yet to be assembled here. Cool. I checked my I had a unit of 5 sisters from 7th edition, and unfortunately they were all Flamer sisters, so I don't know, I might have to end up buying more sisters, but we'll see how that goes. Sergeant Tasty Cakes, welcome. Unusable, yes, unusable as of now, and who knows for how long. So it looks like Death Watch is going to be in the Orcs and Space Wolves book, which is not going to be this week because it's Seraphon. So yeah, who knows? But so that's 3 more factions in this next book, and still no teasers from that book. What else have I been working on? I've been working on this. The Ares. So I bought this a couple weeks ago. Just been in my spare time. I got a few minutes here and there. Been putting it together. Very nice build. Super nice. And so I was gonna pin the wings, but it's such a pain in the butt. So I got this JB Weld super industrial epoxy basically, and these things are stuck. They ain't coming off. So I was a bit worried about these wings because of course it's not a solid mass like the Orion. It's a U shape. So and this is a separate piece. This U bit here, this bit here is separate from this bit here. So these are 2 separate pieces here. And so this kind of connects that, and then it yaws off of the wing part. And these nacelles are pretty heavy. So I was worried that the whole thing would pull it apart, but it doesn't seem to. Seems like it's pretty solid. So this is mostly gold. So this is going to be completely gold. So I put it all together except for the little cannon bit. And then I've got the engine parts, and then the nuclear reactor part that goes in here will be sprayed and painted separately and then glued on at the end. So, but this whole thing will be gold, and I'm going to be experimenting with gold airbrushing and the Scale 75 stuff. And there we go. So there's my Ares, another project for me. It is as large as the Orion. The only difference is there's a cutout here with an engine instead of the Orion's a little bit longer at the back. But yeah, the nacelles are everything else is exactly the same. The front is exactly the same except for the gun. So yeah, so it's pretty big. It's pretty heavy. It's a beefy little model there, but it's gonna look cool, and it kind of reminds me of the Starship Enterprise. So there we go. So I've been working on a few different things. I've got another box of Guardians I got to put together. I still got my Harlequins at the bottom. I got my black primed Land Raider. So I got a bunch of things on the go and not a lot of time to do everything, but it is all on the go. Cool. So CCBB update. So the website has been updated, www.capitalcitybloodbath.com. There's also a Facebook event page under the CanHammer group, so you can check it out at both those locations. They're both accurate. All the details on the website, capitalcitybloodbath.com. That has all the details. Room blocks are up there. Everything we know up to this point is up there. It's ready to go. Registrations do not open until April 1st, so don't send me money right now. So April 1st, registrations will open August 14th, 15th, and 16th. So mark it on your calendars, book the time off, make the efforts to be there. Canada's best event, Capital City Bloodbath, August 14th, 15th, 16th. And let's see, 40K, we're going to aim for probably about 140 people this year. AOS, we're expecting about 50 people. Those are 2 big events. Then we got doubles in both events. We are going to have an 8-man invitational. And we are welcoming again the Honest Wargamer over from England to stream. I think Rob is planning to stream at least 3 tables simultaneously, if not 4. So improving on the crazy coverage that we did last year. Rob is super excited to come back and do even more this year. And there's a rumor that there's another group who may be coming to stream AOS as well. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, there's other things going on. Our painting competition will be back and better than last year. Zach has taken it on. He's got 2 other people to help him judge, and he is going to be, he's already lined up a whole bunch of prize support from hobby companies like Green Stuff World and Fallout Hobbies and Secret Weapon Miniatures. So the painting competition is going to be beefed up compared to last year. So start painting. And do remember, you cannot play with the models that you have in the paint competition. I've said it now. It is now 5 months before the event, okay? If you submit something for a painting competition, it has to sit there on display. You cannot use it in your game, okay? Can't say I didn't tell people. Okay. And then, of course, probably the most popular event at Capital City Bloodbath every year, the Gamer Garage sale, where everybody brings all their stuff, gaming, Warhammer, board games, whatever you want, old white dwarfs, old codexes, and you sell it and somebody buys it. I have almost always sold a whole ton of crap at Capital City Bloodbath every year. It's really good. You just bring stuff in and BJ and his team sell it for you. So it's pretty good. Okay. So we're going to go talk about Tactica. Okay. So today's Tactica, episode 12, is... it came to my mind because of my game versus Jean last week. So if you watched it or didn't watch it, you can, of course, watch it. It's probably still on Twitch. You can watch it on YouTube. It is the game of Custodes versus Astra Militarum from last week. And that was a game that I only won because of rapping. And so tonight's Tactica, episode 12, is called Master the Rap, not Master the Warp. Get it? Master the Rap is not a typo. Master the Rap. So rapping is a super important skill if you play a combat army. It is literally one of the most important skills that you need to learn. In general, movement during the fight phase, you could say, is the important skill, but specifically little parts of that is ending up your turn wrapped around something that cannot escape. So basically that's what we say when we mean wrapping. So you have positioned your models in such a way that one or more enemy models cannot fall back from you. Okay? Some people will call this tri-pointing. So if you have a model and you have 3 bases around it, it is tri-pointed, and that model cannot then move past you, okay? So this is what we call wrapping. If you could wrap like a whole unit, of course, if you have enough bodies, but you know, any one or more models that cannot fall back, and you have achieved a wrap, okay? So why would you want to wrap? So you wrap to stop getting shot. So if you end your turn and the enemy in their turn cannot fall back from combat with you, then you cannot be shot, except by pistol weapons by that unit, but usually that's not going to do anything. You cannot be shot if you are in combat, and so that is super key. That is probably the most important reason to wrap something, to avoid getting shot the next turn, with the intention you that then kill what you were wrapping in your opponent's fight phase, and then you are free to do what you want on your own turn. Okay, so that is the kind of further on down the line reason for wrapping, but you wrap so you don't get shot. Okay, and in today's game, not getting shot is super important. You spend the first 2 turns hiding, then you spend the next 4 turns wrapping. So super important, and you can see on that game versus Jean, which we're going to go over later in this Tactica episode, that I think I got shot by tanks twice in the whole game. And so that's how important the wrap was in this game for me to win that game, because he had 6 or 7 Lehman Russ tanks, demolishers, and battle cannons that were going to wipe me off the table, but I did not allow him to shoot anybody. So key to victory. Another reason to wrap something is so that you can kill something in your opponent's turn. So if you choose Butcher's Bill, for example, you can score Butcher's Bill in your opponent's turn. It says for a player turn, kill 2 units. And so if you... And one of the more advanced skills in playing ITC is to score only the number of points that you need to win the game. It doesn't matter if you win the game by 1 point, it's still a win. It's as big a win as a 15-point win. So... especially in a low-scoring, deny-type army like Custodes, you may only win by a couple of points. So you don't want, on your turn, if you pick Butcher's Bill, you don't want to necessarily kill 8 units, because now you've made it harder for you to get Butcher's Bill in later turns. But if you can wrap a couple of units, then now you can save those 2 units to kill in your opponent's turn, thereby still killing these things, not having them do anything to you, and getting your Butcher's Bill. So it can be an important part of your strategy to not kill everything in your turn and to kill it in your opponent's turn. So that's another reason to wrap things, to kind of save it for later. And then obviously, if you wrap something, it cannot move. So you stop it advancing, taking up more board space. That's a fairly obvious conclusion of being wrapped, but that can be vital to your game plans as well. Keep in mind, if you wrap something that's fairly hard to kill, or you decide not to kill it, whatever you can use, pile in and consolidate movements to move the rest of your unit not directly involved in the wrap around. So you can get free movement, 6 inches of free movement every combat phase while you're in combat, except for the 3 dudes that are wrapping. So, keep that in mind as a way of using the movement in the combat phase. So extra movement is another reason to wrap. And I think those are the main reasons to wrap. The most important and obvious use is that you will not get shot if you're in combat. So, in order to pull off a wrap, what do you need? You need a unit that has at least 3 models. Okay? It's called tri-pointing for a reason. You mathematically cannot stop a model from moving, given that all models have round bases. You cannot stop a model from moving unless you have 3 models. Okay? The exception to this is if you have 2 models and then a piece of impassable terrain that model cannot go over or go through. Okay, so you can trap a tank up against a wall of a building or something like that. So then you could wrap something with 2 models. Generally, in the open field, you need 3 models to wrap something. It doesn't matter what the base sizes are, you still need 3 models. Okay, that's just mathematics. So you need 3 models. So, and that is one reason why I'm really liking the Guardian unit right now that has 8 or 9 guys, because that gives you enough models to pull off 1 or 2 wraps. Whereas a unit of 5 bikes is harder to wrap. And also, if you lose guys, then you lose the ability to wrap, or you lose your wrap because you lost somebody. So having more people, more redundancy is better. That's why a unit of 20 Gene Stealers can wrap people easily, or 30 boys, because there's so many dudes. Also, the smaller the bases, although in some circumstances it's easier to wrap if you have large bases, in some circumstances it's actually easier to wrap to get around those models to get in the wrap if you have little 25mm bases. So I'm liking the small infantry bases compared to like bike bases to get the wraps done, because you still have to be able to fit your bike base around the people to wrap. So you do need 3 models as a minimum, or 2 and a piece of impassable terrain. Second prerequisite, the models you are trying to wrap cannot fly. Okay? If they fly, you cannot wrap them because they can just fall out. Okay? Generally, unless their movement is very slow, which they're not going to be because they fly generally. So if you cannot wrap something that can fly, okay, don't try and wrap Tau drones or stealth suits or smash captains. You cannot wrap anything that can fly. Don't bother trying. The other thing that you may not be able to wrap are units that can leave combat, for example, in the psychic phase, or have stratagem or abilities that let them just leave the field and come back somewhere else. Okay, so the jump will get a unit of boys out of a wrap. Gate of Infinity will get a unit of Grey Knights out of a wrap. The Blood Angel stratagem that lets them, go up in the air and come down somewhere else, let them leave a wrap. So while I'm not going to tell you not to try and wrap those units, because people do fail psychic powers, or maybe they don't have CP to play the stratagem or whatever, you have to be aware that your wrap may fall apart if that unit suddenly appears somewhere else. Okay? And a special precaution to the Green Tide stratagem or the Rack stratagem that Drukhari has, where they can take the unit away, replenish them, and then appear somewhere else. That's kind of like a similar sort of thing. And you may not see that coming if you haven't thought about it. Okay? The other thing to be aware of is that there's 2 ways of wrapping, really. There's wrapping the unit that you are attacking, which is a little bit harder to do, but not impossible. in which case you need to be careful not to kill what you're trying to wrap. And we're going to go over that a little bit when we go over the game. But that's a little bit of a trickier wrap to carry off when you're trying to attack, when you have to attack what you're wrapping. And then the other type of wrap, obviously, is if you charge two things, you kill one and then wrap the second. And so you don't risk killing the second unit at all. And so that's usually easier to carry out. And you're going to see examples of that when we go over the video. So you need to have a unit that you're not going to just auto kill even with your empty hands in order to carry out a wrap. Okay. And a second part of that is if you do end up wrapping something but you kill some of their models, you need to watch out for morale. So generally the things you're trying to wrap have low morale, and so if they lose the unit, that the model that you wrapped due to morale, your wrap has failed. So be careful about morale taking away the thing that you wrapped. Okay. Another thing to be aware of, and it comes up in our game here against Jean, so that's why I decided to do this episode, because this game illustrated all these principles of wrapping. If you're trying to wrap characters, keep in mind that characters can heroically intervene. And by heroically intervening, they may stop you from piling in and consolidating in a manner which you need in order to achieve the wrap. So you need to think about that very carefully when you're making your charges, because it's after the charge phase, before you start to do your pile in, that they would have to intervene. So you really be careful when you're wrapping characters, that a good intervention can really mess up your plans. So keep that in mind. Another principle when you're trying all the time in combat, not just in the wrap, but especially when you're trying to wrap things, never go base to base. Never. Not even when you finish the wrap. There's just no need. There's never a need to go base to base. Leave yourself that flexibility of moving 0.1 microns. There is never a need to go base to base when you are the offensive person. If you're doing a heroic intervention to stop a wrap, you should totally go base to base, because now you've pinned that model from moving at all. If you heroically intervene and you don't go base to base, that model can still move. So you have to keep that in mind. So it's a big deal whether you base something or you don't. And when you're trying to wrap something, you should never go base to base with anything ever, basically. Only time you should go base to base is if you're trying to stop a model from moving. Okay? So that's another tip. And the final tip is we, as custodians, we do have, we're not going to talk tonight about things that stop people from falling back. So there are some abilities or stratagems that stop people from falling back even without wrapping up. Whatever, if you have one of those, that's great. Custodians kind of have that. We call it the Tanglefoot wrap. So if somebody has a low movement rating and they're in combat with you but you didn't manage to wrap them, you can Tanglefoot them if they're eligible, and if you can equal their movement number of inches with your roll, then they can't move that number of inches, and you've kind of Tanglefoot wrapped them. So that's something to keep in mind. If your wrap fails, you may, if it's so important to you, you may still be able to stop them from falling back with Tanglefoot plus or minus a reroll. Keep that in mind. And that counts for everything other than fly. Like you can Tanglefoot a knight, you can Tanglefoot everything other than fly. So keep that in mind. That could be clutch, although it has yet to be clutch for me. But it's a pretty desperate strategy, but can work, especially things with low move, like a Centurion. You could stop a Centurion from falling back 50% of the time with a Tanglefoot, 70-something% of the time with a reroll, right? 4 up with a reroll. So that's really important for you to stay in combat with the Centurion. Then you could probably do it, but keep that in mind. Okay, so that is the principles of wrapping. We are going now to the tabletop. All right, hang on a second. All right. No, it's not this one. It's this one. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, guys. So here we have our game from last week. And so this is a game we are playing whatever ITC mission whatever, and these are the one where you have to move it doesn't matter. We're not talking about the game specifically. We're just talking about the wrap strategies. We'll talk a little bit about some of the other strategies as we go because this is Tactica. But so Jean's deployed first. He's deployed his whole army on the line here. He's got a whole bunch of guardsmen and a whole bunch of Lim and Rust tanks, and then a Smash Captain and Mephiston. That's basically his list. And then so I have deployed my whole army right here. and that's it. That's easy. So for the first turn, and I deployed like this as I pointed out on stream, because I know first turn his Smash Captain who's here is doing this. Boom, because that's what all Smash Captain players do. They send it forward like a missile first turn because there's nothing else they want to spend CP on. So they send the Smash Captains forward, so I know that my best chance of dealing and getting rid of the Smash Captain before anything else starts to hit me is right now. So I just castle up and let him hit me. Okay, because it's better than when I'm all spread out like this in the middle third or fourth turn and the Smash Captain then comes in, and that's basically a game-winning move, which is how Smash Captain players should use Smash Captains. But anyway, so we're set up like this, and so the plan is for me, he cannot shoot anything right now except his Basilisk, which at -1 to hit is fairly ineffective. So I'm just going to stay here until one of two things happens. Turn 3 happens, in which case then I beeline and I have to start scoring and I have to just stay alive. So his stratagem could have been just to stay back here the whole game and wait. Sure. Then it's a very close game and nothing really much happens. Or what I anticipate he's going to do, which is to run everything up to get as many points as possible in the first couple of turns through recon and holding and things like that. And then my plan is turn 2 or 3 is to then come out and start moving up the field by wrapping, and then eventually end up in this area here by the end of the game. So that's my game plan, okay? And I know Jean, I know he's going to Smash Captain me first turn. I'll survive that, kill the Smash Captain, and he's going to push everything up because that is basically how this list plays. All his guardsmen eventually die, but get him a shit ton of points, and these dudes at the back just sit there and shoot people. Okay, so we'll play it on. Just fast forward a little bit here. So Jean's doing his first turn, and as expected, he's starting to move up all his infantry. And fast forward a little bit here. All his infantry have moved up here. Too far from me right now. None of the tanks can see me. The Basilisk shoots and actually kills a shield. No big deal. Scouts are up here, so everybody's getting close. And then the Smash Captain actually comes right into here. Okay? And Smash Captain comes in, kills a unit of Guardians, and then dies. I actually spent 3 CP on the stooping dive here, which was mathematically silly, but anyway. Okay, so on to my turn. So on my turn, all I've done here is, because I picked Postman for my Smash Captain who is here, so he's going to Postman here. So on my second turn, he's going to come here and Postman this, which means that I need to be able to protect him from the tank commander who's here. I need some kind of character screen here. There's a Vindicator here. I don't really care. Vindicators don't really do much to me. So so that's kind of the general plan right now. We'll keep playing it forward. And so it's his turn again. Turn 2. Okay. So his turn 2. And once again, he's pushed everything forward here. Look, these are all guardsmen. Okay. Ripe for the picking. Okay. So my next turn, then the plan will be to send this captain here to Postman that. The Guardians are going to move out here, okay, and form that character screen for the captain to stand there and get postman. And then there's 2 units here. There's this unit here and there's this unit here, okay? Given that I need my unit to be here to protect the captain, the plan is to kill this unit and then wrap this unit, okay? So I don't want to attack this unit at all if I can help it, because I don't want guardsmen dying to morale. And he has spaced them out really nicely here, so I can get my 40mm bases in between. Thank you very much. And that's basically what's going to happen in my turn. So then my guardian unit will be out here and safe from shooting. And everything else will be hidden. And the captain will be here. He might take a Vindicare, but my other characters are going to come out and he will not know who to shoot with 4 hard to kill characters who are all on 3-up invuln. At this point, I did make one mistake. I should have dropped down an Alaris unit here before he got too close so that they can come out next turn, but I didn't do that and I regretted it later. But anyway, not a big deal. Okay, also in the back of my mind now, he's got 3 units here. He's got a tank down here, and he's got this unit and this tank fairly close for the Alaris probably to head this way in the next couple of turns. All right, so I'm sort of trying to plan ahead here a little bit, and so that's what we're going to see. So he's just doing his turn. Nothing happens in his turn. Let's just fast forward a little bit. So nothing happens. I'm just measuring now. Before I make my movements, I'm trying to decide I need my captain right here, just touching the objective, so I need at least a guardian right there to screen this tank. I pre-measure how far this tank can move and shoot. It's like there. So that's fine. So I'm not going to, and because he won't be able to shoot this unit, because they'll be wrapped, he won't be able to, this tank commander won't be able to shoot anything. So that's what I'm kind of all pre-measuring right now. And then I move my guardians out. All right. I didn't want to skew too far over here because then it'd be out of position. I wanted them to stay fairly central, but I needed this guy there to shield my captain, and he's part of the wrap too. So that's why I positioned it like this. And then I got engineer unit still back here, safe from these guys here, and then I got my postman captain back there. And then my other 3 characters are just here. They're just there. Okay, so here we go. I shoot a little bit, and you know, I don't hardly kill anybody with my shooting. And then I charge this unit in, okay? Not declaring this unit at all, just declaring this unit. Then I wipe this unit fairly easily, okay? And then I end up wrapping this dude right here, okay? This guy goes around this way, this guy comes in this way, this guy goes this way, and then after killing this unit, this whole unit can shift that way, okay? So that's basically how that happens. So that's one way of wrapping. You've got 2 units here right for the picking. You kill one, wrap the other one, okay? You could have done it the other way around, but what I didn't want was to pull this whole unit this way and expose my captain there to this bad thing. So that's why I chose to do it the way that I did it, and also trying to stay central. So here we go. I do my movement shenanigans, and we managed to get the wrap off. Eventually, I'm just charging here. I'm going to kill all these guys. And they're in. And then, yeah, it takes them away. So now I do my consolidates, and that also allows me to take a hold of the middle objective with my consolidates. So this one unit has done a lot of things this turn, and it is safe from any harm on this objective with 2 offset guys and wrapped this dude here. Now, Jean did something really smart. He piled in one dude here that I did not see. The pile-in got him onto this objective and contested it and denied me 5 points. That was a huge point denial there, with one guardsman making a pile-in onto the objective. So I did not see that because I could have just extended my wrap one more guy. But so that was a good play by Jean to save himself. Maybe the game lost right there. So anyway, so that's a strong position now I'm in. So now I have a unit here shielding all my characters. This unit cannot be shot at. And so basically Jean has no play other than to like peg me with the Vindicare and to shoot the Basilisk. Actually, yeah. So, you know, I'm in a strong position here. So in my turn then, this guardsman unit will die and allow these guys to move up. and then in their turn to move up even more. So that's kind of the play right now. Meanwhile, these guys are getting close. These guys are inching closer here. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on these guys. So it's Jean's turn again. So Jean moves this guy up here. He moves a unit here. He's trying to contest this, which is my priority objective for the bonus. So he sends some dudes up here like this. He's got a unit of scouts here moving up, and he's got this guardsman unit here, and there's a tank in this corner here. So these guys are ripe for the picking now for a Homer. And Homer really allows you to wrap because you start off within 3 inches. So it really allows you to get off a good wrap with a long, deep charge. And there's a company commander right here. So already my plan is, even while Jean's doing his turn, Vexilla comes this way. Alaris unit comes down here, shoots these guys off, charges these guys, and then pilings and consolidates and wraps this company commander against this impassable rock here. And so then I'll have a big Alaris unit here with the turn after that being able to kill scouts and this tank here and then move up the board. So that's already making the plan during Jean's turn. That's what I'm going to do with this quarter of the board. Meanwhile, these guys will kill these guardsmen and move up this way and help me control this whole middle of the board. Okay, so now, so this is Mephiston. Mephiston made a beeline to kill my Vexilla with the Warlord Vexilla, and he ends up not doing it, and I don't kill him back anyway. Eventually, Mephiston does end up killing him. Not a big deal. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, so here we go. This unit is moved up. Yeah, so is it? I think it's my turn now. Okay. The other thing is, so because I didn't score postman here because of that stupid guardsman, I had to leave my captain here one more turn. But luckily, this tank moved back this way in his turn. So then I didn't have to worry about him being able to snipe my captain off with the battle cannon because he moved back. So that's okay. So I have to leave my captain here for this turn. But I've got Valoris here in support, so I don't need the captain. He can postman there, and then the next turn move up there, and then the next turn go to one of these 2 objectives for full postman. Okay, so here we go. We are killing these guardsmen. This is my turn. So everybody moves up here. We're gonna just make sure we kill these guardsmen, and then my Vexilla. Yeah, I think we're just killing guardsmen now. Okay, yeah, so I almost, a little bit of positioning, I could have been within heroic intervention of Mephiston here, but he just positioned himself too far away from these guys to heroic in, because Mephiston was like down to like 2 health or something like that. Okay, so these guardsmen are all dead. It's fairly easy. So that's in Jean's turn. I killed these guardsmen, and so now this unit has moved up here at the end of Jean's turn. Okay, that's great. Vexilla survives, and Mephiston... no, the Vexilla is going to die, and then Mephiston just consolidates into the building here. Okay, we'll just go forward a little bit. Okay, so there, Mephiston kills the Vexilla. He's in the building now. End of Jean's turn. So now it's my turn. This unit is now free to do whatever it wants, and it's going to be trouble here for Jean. So next move, this guy has to stay here. This unit is going to move up here. There's a character here, a Tex Priest Engineer. Kodiaz is here, and a company commander is here. So this is the next thing that I need to wrap. 3 characters. I need to kill 1 or 2 of these guys and wrap any one of them. And this is where I almost fall afoul to the tip I gave you guys earlier about avoiding heroic interventions on characters. But that is the plan. I need to leave 1 guy around here somewhere to make sure that this tank commander doesn't shoot for it and snipe my captain who's post-manning. So I need to keep that in mind, okay? And then my Vexilla needs to come here to homer in my Terminators to do that plan over there. Okay, so here go the Guardians. They're moving up. Okay, this guy was almost too far forward, but not quite. And look at these guardsmen in a nice line, all lined up for me. Making space here. Here comes the Vexilla, which is there. And these guardians, so there's a character here, Custodes, and a character here, ripe for the pickings. Okay, so here we go. The Homer comes down. My Alaris, 6-man Alaris unit comes in. And I'm trying to cheat a little bit. One guy here to get a charge there if I need. I'm 3 inches from these guys, obviously, and I'm about 5 inches from these guys. So I've got lots of options there. Valoris is here. He's going to go in and kill Mephiston. Because I still got one dude surviving here for engineers. So, and then I want to eventually end up here so that next turn my postman can move up here. That's kind of, that's the goal. Okay, and this unit was unfortunately super out of position. The 4-man unit did nothing but drop back here and then get shot. So that was a misplay. They should have dropped in the turn before. Okay, so this turn is going. So I do some shooting. I just killed this one scout there. I left one scout there alive for easy butchers and an easy kill and kill more. So that was easy. And then I'm going to kill these guys here with Alaris shooting. Alaris actually have a decent amount of shooting to clear chaff because of D3 shots from grenade launchers. So they're actually pretty good at that. And then, so that is the plan. All right, I'm just taking pot shots at random stuff. Okay, so here we go. So that unit's dead. And so now I'm measuring charges. So here we go. Now, so in this situation, so this guy heroicing would have stopped a lot of the pile-in shenanigans. So we spend a lot of time debating this, and you'll see when I make my move here. Okay, so I decide just to shoot away 6 of these guys so that they will die for sure from morale if I don't kill them. But I leave a easy charge, and here comes my charge. And so I'm all the way up to here because I rolled good. And here's the company commander that I'm going to wrap. So a 3-inch easily on the pile-in, and then the rest of the guys come in, will easily trap that company commander. So that is the play for these Alaris guys. And so these guys roll high. They roll like a 9. I could have gotten all the way to here. So I do this. And then if he heroics me like this, though, or like this, so here we debate for like 5 minutes about how I should position to not let the heroic stop me. I need to keep this guy here to protect my captain from this. So in the end, it didn't matter because I could kill Custodes and still pile in around this guy, or I could kill this guy and then pile in around Custodes, although that's less ideal because he can smite. So I ideally want to kill Custodes and trap the company commander, or trap this dude, which I end up doing. So what I end up doing, because we debated it and we weren't sure if it was going to work or not, and because there's this crate here as well. So what we ended up doing is, I think I ended up killing the company commander, no, killing Custodes and the company commander and wrapping this guy. That's what I end up doing. Because this guy trapped me back here with the heroic intervention. So you got to watch out when you're trying to wrap characters for that heroic intervention that stops you moving. This is when he wants to base that guy so that guy can't move at all. Okay, so we debate this for a while. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I end up here with 4 guys here, easily able to kill Custodes and wrap this company commander here. And so, anyway, so we roll it out, and basically, you know, Custodes dies easily. Valoris kills Mephiston. Custodes dies there. All these guardsmen die pretty easily, and I end up hugging this company commander against this wall here, which is great. Because then in Jean's turn, I'm going to get Butcher's Bill for killing this guy and this guy. So not only does it contribute to kill more, but also gets me Butcher's Bill in Jean's turn, which is great. And this guy. And then from then on, you know, what options does Jean have? I have this Guardian unit in the middle here that he cannot shoot. I've got 6 Alaris Terminators here, which is going to wipe out scouts and a tank and move up this way. Okay, I'm already eyeing next turn this guy, these dudes back here, or this guy. Okay, depending on what Jean does. There's also the Vindicator up here, but it's like a 6-inch tall building, so that's kind of hard. And then this, I have to remember the postman needs to come here next turn. Okay, so those are the things I'm thinking about for next turn already. Okay, even while I'm still doing this. Okay, so I end up wrapping the company commander here, and this text here is just in combat because he heroic'd me. Okay, oh yeah, Valorous does not kill Mephiston because on 4 wounds with his Axe of Legend, he does 4 damage on D3. D3 life. So he does not kill Mephiston. Mephiston ends up flying over here, and then eventually he does die. He can't attack because his spell makes him move as if it's movement phase, which still counts as a fallback. So he just ends up there, and then he ends up dying. So no big deal. Okay, so now Jean's feeling like the pressure's on. Even though he's still got all his heavy hitting, I just had 2 like 8-point turns, and I am caught up basically. He took a big lead early, and then I took really big turns because of all the scoring. And then I don't think there's any more wrapping to be seen. Here we go. Let's move forward a little bit. So now he does this crazy tank shock thing, which is crazy. He did like 6 mortal wounds, but then ended up he gave me all his tanks to touch. So, no big deal. Mephiston's there now. My shield captain comes up and is going to kill Mephiston. Valorous moves up, and then these Alaris are coming here to kill this tank. And so the game is basically over. And I don't think there's any more wraps to carry off there. So, yeah, and then at the end of the game, basically, my Guardians here come this way, and the Shield Captain makes his final postman there, and it's kind of game over. Okay. So that's basically just a quick overview there of that game and how important the wrap was to that victory. And to shutting down his whole shooting game plan. So there was only 2 times when he managed to shoot me. He shot me twice, those 4 Alaris that were stuck at the back doing nothing. And that was the only time those tanks managed to shoot me at all. The only way they did any damage to me was that 6 mortal wounds they did with that tank shot stratagem. And that was basically the end of the game because then they were touched. So by moving up and using his guardsmen against him and using the wrap, I was able to pull that game through. I was able to use the wrap and delay kills into his turn to get more butchers and kill more. So there's a good uses of the wrap in that game there. So that's basically it. It is really a skill that you just got to practice. If people have questions about it, please write in the comments below now as we're wrapping up here. But that's basically how you wrap and how important it is, especially when you're a combat army, to pull off wraps when you can. Now, so Jean could have stayed back. He didn't have to push his guys up so far and made me come out. He wanted to get on that center objective, so I would have been able to get something. But if he only gives me 1 unit at a time, 1 unit of guardsmen is really hard to wrap when you're as strong as Custodes are, but not impossible. So the other tip is if you do have to wrap something that you have to attack, so one guy has to get, if you have only 1 unit and you need to wrap it, one of your chargers has to attack, okay? Because one of your guys has to end up within an inch to make the charge successful. So at least one guy has to attack. So you can, and some people forget about this, but you can, as an option, don't attack with your weapon, just attack with your basic melee attack. It says right in the rulebook, everybody has a basic melee attack that is strength user, AP 0, 1 damage, okay? So, I think that's what I did to the company commander is just to soften him up, I just used 1 guardian who had 4 attacks, and then I failed 1, so he wasn't going to die. So that is a little trick you can use to not kill something in order for you to wrap it. Okay, use your AP0 1 damage strength user attack instead of your weapons. Okay, so that's another little tip to carry off a wrap on a unit that you have to attack. Okay, and then when on the charge, you make sure nothing gets within an inch of anything except for that one dude who has to, and then you just pile, and then you don't pile in within an inch, you don't have to attack, and then you use your consolidate to get you to wrap. So it's a little bit more tricky, but can be done. Okay, so that's basically it. I hope people find that useful, and do practice. You can even just set up a couple of units on your table and a unit of whatever, custodians or whatever you want, and just practice, roll a charge, practice pulling off a wrap. And so that in game, you know exactly how you want to do it. And then big tip, communicate to your opponent what it is that you're trying to do before you move your models. Okay. And then if you're out in half an inch or a third of an inch or something here or there, most people are reasonable and play by intent like that. Okay, and if they don't, they should. But it's always better just to have it communicated instead of somebody watching you do little movement shenanigans and nudging things here and there and thinking that you're being, sneaky. So just say it out, what it is that you intend to do, that clearly you are able to do this, and that you're going to try and put the models into representation that you have in your head. So, okay. So that's basically wrapping in a nutshell, and I hope people find that useful. So that is it. The rest of this week, so we have nothing tomorrow night. I'm recording a podcast with somebody else, so that's cool. On Wednesday, we got podcast episode 177. We're going to be talking about the Marines and the FAQ that they got, and we'll be joined by Francois, and so we'll be talking about that on Wednesday. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of books on Wednesday, so tune in if you want some free books. And on Thursday, I've got a game against Francois and his guard, and he is playing a slightly different version of Talarn, but also Scions. So that should be interesting, how I deal with that mobile drop element of the Scions. So that's coming up on Thursday. And that's it. So I hope everybody has a good night, and thank you very much for watching. We'll see you